You know Godzilla as the king of monsters, now see him as a Ninja Turtle. And hopefully the world will survive this latest crossover from Playmates. See your favorites like Leonardo as Godzilla. And Michelangelo as King Ghidorah. Be there as these toys take flight from the store right to your shelf. They may be powerful protectors, but they still have time to stop and smell the roses. With avocado legs and tails for days, these figures are a work of art. You'll surely want to dance for joy as you add these guys to your collection. Look at them go! Playmates, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Godzilla crossover. Get them while you can! Welcome to the world of Mime Over Matter. We've got a double dose of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla goodness. We've got what we see here, Leonardo as Godzilla. We also have Michelangelo as King Ghidorah. So one after the other, we're going to have a lot of fun with these two. I was looking forward to these two. They came out with 3. They also have a Raphael. And on the back, looks like we are going to get a Donatello in the future. Maybe a Wave 2, perhaps a special edition figure. But we will see. But right now, let's focus on our sorted superhero Leonardo as Godzilla. And here we have him out of his package. He is gigantic. He is massive. The detail on this guy is so incredible. If you are a fan of Ninja Turtles or a fan of Godzilla, you're going to absolutely love this figure. If you're a fan of both, you are in heaven. And he comes with a shell with some spikes sticking out of the back. There's some instructions on the bottom of how to put it together. Shell on back. So I think that's relatively easy to follow. He also comes with 2 glowing flame swords, which are pretty awesome. So we will play with those as soon as we plug in the outlet that is his shell. And now, oh, that's actually really tight. I was not expecting it to be so tight. Looking at his articulation, the Playmates articulation on the shoulders is amazing. On the elbows, it's got about half articulation, doesn't go all the way up. Then he's got the movable wrists and somewhat limited neck articulation, which is almost as expected because of how bulky he is. He does get some good motion up and down, but he's not going to be looking at the ceiling anytime soon. On the other arm, we've got this similar articulation. His legs look like avocados, which is delicious if you like avocados, but ripe avocados. They haven't turned brown yet, which is good. The knees, slightly limited articulation, same thing with the ankles, but as you would expect, Godzilla's not jumping over chairs or, doing anything. And we've got tail articulation, which I always love a good tail articulation. This guy is incredible looking. On the swords, these got some translucent glow plastic on them, which is pretty amazing. So they look pretty magical. The paint job on the actual silver is a little bit of a flaw. It kind of goes onto the handle a little bit. I'd say that if that's my only gripe with this figure, I'd say I'm in pretty good shape, but honestly, it's amazing. The swords themselves, just the design of them with the translucent plastic for the glow effect, and just having him a massive Godzilla now with 2 swords. This is, in my opinion, a really great crossover. You can tell it's Ninja Turtles, you can tell it's Godzilla, and Ninja Turtles are known for their kind of elaborate crossover, especially with the older classic Playmates figures. They were doing all sorts of fun designs, so this fits right in. So I am very, very, very happy with this one. I can't wait to see what else they do with this line. We already know that there's going to be a Donatello, so there's at least, as I mentioned before, a Wave 2 or something else. The spikes coming out of his shell, you can see they're cracking through. So I'm a huge fan. So far, I'd say we're starting off pretty strong, and we still got a Michelangelo to review, and then a Raphael to find in the store. So all in all, starting off 10 out of 10 with our Leonardo. And we also have Mikey as King Ghidorah, the 3-headed mutant, and I think they were pretty creative. You can see he's got 1 head on his shoulders, and then he's got 2 other heads on his shoulders, not on necks, just as shoulder pads. So as far as a crossover design, I think they did a very clever thing versus giving him the 3 heads, which you can kind of see on the back of the box in the design artwork. Looks like they're on his arms. They did not go with that approach, and I think it was a solid move because now he's a little bit more Ninja Turtle. So let's open them up. Out of the box, we've got the figure, we've got two tail pieces, and we've got wings, and we've got nunchucks. So there's a little bit of building that we need to do. And let's take a quicker look at our figure, who's got almost like a metallic gold shine to him, which is pretty awesome. His neck, very similar to what we saw with Leonardo, is somewhat limited because of all the other goodness going on with him, which is okay. There's plenty of other movement and articulation that we've got going on. Looking at the instructions, we have to piece his tail together, then plop it in, and then his wings have little slots on the back. So this tail is actually a softer plastic, not quite bendable, but still a little bit softer. So we piece it together, seems pretty straightforward, and then it slides right in. And let's see, it looks like it has to turn a certain way. It doesn't fit right in. Sorry about this, Michelangelo. I'm sure this cannot be comfortable. And there we go. It does not fit in snugly. I would have actually expected from Playmates that it goes in really tight. So my guess is I did not do something entirely correctly. So I'm going to give that one more shot. See if I can take it apart. Maybe I just didn't snap it together all the way. Otherwise, we will figure it out in the future. Or if it doesn't work, if you have one like that and it doesn't go all the way in, let me know. Maybe it's a design flaw. Maybe it's just a quality issue on my figure. Yeah, you can see there's a little space there, and which is, in my opinion, not expected, and it's a little bit loose, and it comes right out. Especially after seeing Leonardo's shell, it goes right in without any issues, and it's nice and snug. All right, after the review, I was playing with it a little bit, and I did figure out how to get the tail all the way in. As you can see, you have to turn it sideways and line up the notches, and then it fits right in. So if you have this and you're having the same problem, just try turning it sideways and plopping it in, and you're good to go. Back to the review. Onto his wings to make him just a massive figure. This is a much harder plastic, so I'm going to be a little bit careful putting that in. I don't want it to snap, but it's got that nice translucent look to it, so this is just going to be a massive, incredible figure, which as the kaiju, the monsters, the Godzilla, these are just massive figures. They, destroy cities and protect the people, so being oversized is exactly what you would expect. The wings actually go in very nicely. They do not move. There's no articulation to them, so there's going to be no flapping. They just are what they are. But honestly, they look incredible. From an articulation standpoint, the shoulders are a little bit limited just because he's got that big shoulder pad and he's got the things coming off of his head, so they'll get in the way. Elbows, what you would expect. I'd say the hips are a little bit weird. They kind of go up and out. This is, I guess it's, I'm not quite sure what to take of that. It moves fine. It just looks a little bit awkward. It's almost like a design from that you'd see in like the 80s and 90s figures. But all in all, it moves incredibly, and especially with the tail holding them up. So I'd say I like it. Then we've got the classic Mikey nunchucks, also a nice translucent plastic, so kind of glows a little bit, gives it that extra monster feel. They do not have a chain. They are just a solid piece of plastic. Playmates goes both ways with these. They've been adding the chains in some of the figures. They probably opted against it so they can keep it translucent. And this guy is awesome. I cannot wait for them to do more of these figures. So we've got our Mikey. We've got our Leonardo. These are incredible. There's so many other monsters that they can do. They can start introducing the villains. These guys are just, these are display pieces. And they're going to be incredible for stop motion. But all in all, this is probably one of the coolest crossover lines I think they've ever done. I'm a huge fan. Thanks for watching.